Hey, besties. It's your wealth best friend, Jayla. Happy Money Monday. We're back, as always, talking about assets, investments, and helpful information. So, last week, the stock market probably had some of y'all stressed, but hopefully, you remembered your plan. You went on about your day. You're drinking your water, you're exercising, you're taking care of yourself because, of course, health is wealth. And today, I want to focus on real estate because I have a lot of clients and people in the community that are buying homes, that are considering buying, that are already owners, that are investment property owners. So, this is for you if you're considering or already into it. Here's what I want you to do because, of course, there's homework. I want you to write down your home numbers. What does that mean? So, one of the reasons I feel like the stock market is scarier than other assets and then putting your money in other assets is because with the stock market, you're guaranteed to get daily live updates. There is always a channel on the news that is reporting what's going on, the ups and downs. But real estate seems to be pretty safe because you rarely get updates unless something really bad happens or really good happens. And you get a place to stay. I mean, there's utility to buying property. Occasionally, you see your home equity rise. But what you don't get to see is the actual numbers attached to your property and your investment. So, what's your mortgage balance? I want you to write that down. The initial balance and where you are now, depending on when you started and got this loan. When does your mortgage end? If you just got this home last year or this year, it probably could mean 2051, 2052 that you'll have a paid off a house, assuming nothing else comes up in the middle of that time. But still, that's a very long time from now. How old will you be? Write it down. What's your mortgage payment? What's the principal to interest breakdown? If you're, and let's start with a hypothetical because it's easier to understand. If your payment is $3,000, depending on the interest rate, that could mean, and we're going to assume, that you may have principal of just $1,000. So $3,000 a month is going towards your mortgage. Now, this is without escrow. This is just mortgage, principal, and interest. Then that means maybe a little under $2,000 is going directly into the lender's pocket in interest. So $36,000 a year just for your lender, and only $1,000 of that a month is paying down the actual loan this year. Now, what does this mean for you? Then you also need to add up your property taxes, your insurance, and any HOAs. In California, where I am, our property taxes are high. So there are definitely very few exemptions that you get here. So the fees add up. And it could be anywhere from $700 a month to $1,000 a month in just property taxes, insurance, and HOAs. I'm going to do for this hypothetical $750. And that's something that some people don't see separately from their mortgage because, like I said, you can have your payments escrowed. So that means you're sending all of the money for the mortgage and the property and insurance to your lender every month so that they have it, they deal with it. But I still want you to write it down. I want you to know your numbers because those numbers change and you have to be prepared for that. And it's just good to see the monthly and yearly breakdown. So put everything in monthly and yearly breakdowns. So, like I said, even if you don't see the money because it's escrowed, write it down. Even if it's already baked into your payment, You need to see the numbers separately just for this exercise. So, like I said, we're going to say another $750 a month to go towards property taxes and insurance. That's at $9,000 a year. And all of that is needed just to avoid foreclosure, i.e. the bank coming and taking your home back, or a tax lien, because if you don't pay your property taxes, the government's coming for that property. So overall, in this hypothetical, you need $45,000 this year, and that's before you consider utilities like electricity and gas and lawn care and repairs and anything else that comes with home ownership or what it takes to run your house. And this is not about your lively expenses, vacations, food, all of that. No, this is just about the house. $45,000. Do this for every property that you have. And especially for investment properties, make sure that you're writing it down for each individual house that you own. And now, because 2051 didn't sound like when I want to be debt free, for the hypothetical, now we're going to consider how much more money we can contribute to additional principal so that we're meeting our goals. If you don't want debt in 2051 when you're a certain age, then this is where you sit down and plan out how much more money it's going to cost you to make that happen. So in the hypothetical, if I said that I wanted to do pay off my loan 10 years earlier than it is, so instead of 2051, I want 2041 because that sounds a little better, and who knows, it could be faster. Then that means I'm going to have to put $1,000 more a month towards my loan. And that sets me free 10 years early. But it also means needing at least $57,000 this year. And this year only, you're going to have to update these numbers just for that one property. And I didn't touch on it a lot, but for the real estate investors who are watching, be sure to calculate the rents from the tenants that you get, because that's going to affect your personal taxes, because that's technically income to you, depending on how you have things set up. If you have an entity or an LLC, that may change, it may differ if you have other partners in this investment with you. But for the most part, that income is imputed to you, and that may raise your tax bracket. So be prepared for that hit, that tax hit, because you want to make sure that you have the money for Uncle Sam, because he's going to come looking. So once you have all this written down, you have a clearer picture of your situation. And in the hypo that I gave you, $3,000 rent starts to seem like, okay, that's not that bad. I know everybody's like, ooh, that's so much money to be paying and not get a return on your investment. But when you realize that when it comes to renting versus home ownership, that you could potentially have at a minimum $9,000 more dollars or $21,000 more if saved and invested, hopefully, as a renter, then maybe you can achieve the same result, have an investment, and not have property ownership until you're ready to have property paid off without a mortgage. That way, you're not giving $2,000 a month to a lender just for the debt. So make sure that you're running your numbers, that you're understanding the differences, that you're sticking to your plan, but that you're also getting an actual understanding of what is going on in your finances. I definitely didn't, in the hypothetical, expect to need $57,000 for one property. I just, $3,000 mortgage, and that's all you look at. but $57,000 is definitely something that you want to have a plan for. So that was a lot. I'm going to leave it there. Happy Money Monday again. Please do your homework, find out your numbers. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them in the comments. We will chat next week.